control of the Congress as of, well, yesterday. Representative Maxine Waters, by the way, is now chair of the House Financial Services Committee, and she has a long list of items on her to-do list. Her committee is charged with overseeing the banking industry and the economy, and since the Dems won back the House in November, she is promising big changes.
Make no mistake, come January in this committee, the days of this committee, weakening regulations and putting our economy once again at risk of another financial crisis will come to an end.
All right, so what's she going to do? Will she be able to slow down the Trump administration's deregulation agenda? Let's bring in Joel Griffith of the Heritage Foundation. And, you know, she, in a recent interview on MSNBC, actually said that she wants to really target the CFPB, Consumer Fraud Protection Bureau. And she says that Mick Mulvaney basically weakened, almost ruined that agency. Is she going to get anywhere, do you think?
I think she's going to struggle to push back against President Trump and against Mick Mulvaney. You know, when it comes down to it, the reforms that Mulvaney has done at CFPB have been absolutely fantastic. It's been a focus on disclosure and a focus on preventing fraud rather than a concentration of yet more power in Washington, D.C. I know a lot of the politicians, a lot of bureaucrats want that power. But this is something that the Trump administration has pushed very hard against, and there will be a struggle, but I think in the end she will not succeed at derailing the great success that we've seen the last 2 years.
And let me correct myself, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, but, you know, here's the thing, is that she could make life very difficult for bank CEOs. I mean, she would have the power to call up Jamie Dimon, she would have, you know, call up all the banks. She may really, and she mentioned this as well, or that same interview, she could go after Wells Fargo, all of those fake accounts. It's been a rough year, Wells Fargo. She could make their lives very difficult.
Yes, she definitely has that potential, and I think a lot of this is more an attempt to grab headlines rather than an attempt to actually enforce the law. Something that I'm actually quite concerned about is that she's going to be looking to make deals with a lot of the vested interest in the industry. And this is something that should be troubling to all of us. This is something that we see Republican and Democratic legislators do. And I think with her focus on community reinvestment and affordable housing, a lot of that is just code for more handouts to a variety of special interests.
That's interesting that you say that. And again, her playbook is still kind of somewhat unknown. She's given us some hints, though. You know, but you have to wonder if this is just going to be 2 years. And this is kind of a broad question for all of this new House. Is this going to be 2 years of investigations, a subpoena, not just in, you know, not just in financial services, but across the board?
And yes, and that would be so unfortunate to see such an important role that she now has and other committee members have, to see that time absorbed by pursuing trails or pursuing allegations rather than focusing on actually protecting our financial sector. That would be a wasted opportunity. The fact is, we need to see dramatic reforms in the finance sector and in housing. I wish we would have seen more of that the past year. Certainly, the outgoing chairman, Henserling, he had many great, bold ideas when it comes to reforming the housing sector and ensuring that we don't perpetuate this bubble. Yeah. And I'm really dismayed that in the coming session that we're going to see backing off of those proposals.
From mortgages to credit cards to student loans, she's going to have a lot of, well, she's going to have a voice. We'll see if she actually has power at the end of the day. Joel Griffith. Joel, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, coming up, it's the biggest economic report every single month, but